welcome to our first episode of SP&T at 25. To kick off this first episode, it's the man behind the curtain, Bob Rodkin, who started SP&T 25 years ago. Bob, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Alana. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm super excited to learn more about SP&T and its origins. So why don't you first tell me why you decided to start SP&T?
Well, way back when I was working with Canadian Security Magazine, and the founder passed, and the idea was that I was going to sort of take over the magazine from him, and then that all changed. And my plan back then was, once I did take over the magazine, I would start SP&T as a sister publication to Canadian Security. So the fact that they're under the same umbrella was kind of always my goal. And that didn't transpire right away. So I ended up having to, or deciding to leave Canadian Security once the new owners came in, and I started SP&T then. And you know, sort of the rest is history. We had a good couple of first years, and then along came CLB Media, and they had already purchased Canadian Security Magazine, so that kind of took the wind out of my sails, because that's what I was hoping to eventually do. So, and the fellow that I was dealing with then, you know, I called him. I remember calling him and saying, you know, I introduced myself and said we were the other security magazine in the industry, and I thought maybe we could, you know, get together and see how we can, you know, approach the industry in a unified way. And he said, sure. Well, why don't I just buy you? So. And I said no. And then he said, well, do you mind if I phone you every 2 weeks and ask you again? And I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. So it was about 6 months later, I was at the ISC East show in New York and going into the media room. And there he was sitting there reading a novel. And I said, what are you doing here? And he says, oh, I just came to make you an offer in person. And again, I said no, and then I went home and told other people, and other people said, what, are you crazy? Like, that's a really good offer. So I'm still sitting on the fence whether it was a good idea or not, but you know, it was part of me. Part of it was like, I really thought the two magazines needed to be together. And so that's what I did. It wasn't really approached from the security industry point of view as much as the publishing industry, because that's sort of what my background was the, you know, business publishing, and I just had this, you know, thing where they belong together. So and if I could make that happen and come out, you know, a bit ahead, that would be great. And that's what happened.
I know right now it seems hard to kind of look that far into the future, but when you think about SP&T in another 25 years from now, what are your hopes for the magazine and the brand?
Hoping that in 25 years, there's still a print magazine, and I don't know how that would be. I really don't know, but I'm hoping that, you know, in 25 years, you can still pick up an actual physical copy of a, you know, paper magazine. So.
Bob, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. You know, for being able to work for SP&T, it was so great being able to hear from you and to learn more about how SP&T got started and being able to contribute to it. And thank you so much for speaking with me today. I hope we can keep in touch.
Yes, thank you, Alana, and I appreciate it. And in talking with yourself and Paul, I can tell there's a really great team there, and I wish you every success for the next 25 years.